everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Imai and today's Beat TV Tuesday. Beat TV is a series on my channel where we watch an episode of a TV show. It's been cartoons, but we can switch it up if you want while I put my makeup on. First of all, I feel like y'all are so close to me. Are we too close? Is that better? Maybe. Okay, so this up here is my box light. I was gonna be lazy and not turn on my overhead lights because y'all know you know the vibe when the overhead light is too much but your lamps aren't giving what they're supposed to give. So I had the idea of putting my box light up there, and first of all, I'm a genius. Second of all, I'm a genius, but it doesn't give what it's supposed to give on camera, so I just ended up turning on my overhead light. Today we're watching S2E by Ginger again, as you can tell by the title and the thumbnail. I wanted to go back to our roots because I'm not gonna lie to y'all, my channel hasn't been popping the way it was. Like, I know it's because I'm doing shows that people don't really have a big nostalgia factor connected to. Like, My Life as a Teenage Robot is a little bit more of a niche show, but I was trying to switch it up and give you guys new shows, but y'all aren't watching those. So I'm just gonna go back to our roots and see is it like the content that's not popping, or is it y'all just don't give a f anymore. So let's see what that's about. Today I am using new products. I'm doing a very simple face because I am about to turn 23. I'm a Gemini, it's Gemini season, and I want to go into 23 feeling like I have it together. I want to create a routine where I can like wake up and do my face quick. Something quick where I could still feel put together before I leave the house. So before I got on camera, I tinted my brows, which I just do the Just for Men beard dye trick on my brow, and I did my lash extensions, my lash clusters. If you want to see how I did my lash clusters, I have a whole video on it. We can watch that there. But today I'm going to be doing something soft and simple because I am trying to create a new makeup routine as to where it is soft and simple. So let's get started. Today we are watching Lunatic Lake. This is episode 29, so I want to say it's season 2 episode 9. Let's see where it says. Oh, season 2 episode 13. I thought there was I feel like it depends because I know the Camp Caprice season finale counts. Sometimes people count it as 1 episode, some people count it as 3, but we're watching Lunatic Lake. I wanted to do this episode because I'm grabbing my mirror because, first of all, iconic. I should have done this one during Halloween, but iconic. I saw this TikTok about I'm definitely putting a timestamp because your girl is rambling. I saw a TikTok about how like cartoons sometimes have that one episode that's like unnecessarily scary, and this was not on the list, but this is the first one that I thought of. But if y'all want me to dive deep into that topic and give more examples, and we could do like a little like compilation Beat TV of episodes that are like that, we can. This is just face oil, by the way, because I have not been popping with my skincare routine. I haven't had contacts in a couple weeks. That's one of the reasons why I took off last week, because I ran out of contact lenses and then I had to be in my glasses, and I was just feeling like not cute. I wasn't able to film my prescription is so high. If I do my makeup in my glasses, like without my contacts, I'm literally just gonna be at the mirror like this. So I don't want to subject y'all to that. But okay, let's get started because it's already like 5 minutes. I'm still talking. So the episode begins and Macy is in class with her newspaper, and she's telling the story of a guy called Crazy Floyd who is in like the woods somewhere. She's telling about Crazy Floyd, about how he's bipolar and dangerous and he's kind of up in these woods. And Miss Zorski reminds her like this was supposed to be a story that's, you know, relevant to your life. You're supposed to find in the media. And she's like, it is relevant because I'm vacationing with Dodie and her mom up in Lunatic Lake. So this is actually right before a vacation. I don't know that they say what, like, if it's like spring break or like winter break, but they say it's an 11-day vacation. And Miranda, after, you know, Macy makes her presentation, Miranda is telling Dodie and Ginger and Macy about how, you know, Courtney's family invited her to go to the Caribbean and they're going to Lunatic Lake. I'm like, first of all, girl, that's not a flex. If you really had it like that, why didn't your family take you? to the Caribbean? Why did you have to depend on your rich friend? Why couldn't you go? That's not a flex. And how are you flexing for your friend? She's like, I guess that's the difference in between the way the Griplings spend their vacation and the Bishops. I'm like, girl, you are a tag-along. You are a +1. You didn't even... Shut up, girl. Like, don't do that. But Dodie is low-key, like, unfazed. She's like, well, I bet you guys won't be making maple syrup on your vacation. And Miranda's kind of like, that's your flex? Maple syrup? Okay. Carl is in the boys' bathroom at his school, and he's making a documentary about the survival of the fittest or whatever. I think that they're like gonna do like some survivalist thing while they're up in the woods or something. I don't know. Y'all know, like Carl and Hoodsy, their little subplots, I don't be giving a damn, but it does tie into the main plot. But mainly they're filming their vacation for the for a documentary that they're making. Like, not a school project or anything, just their own like thing that they want to do. I don't know if I like these products. I can't. Maybe I'm just not like a light coverage girly. So they're filming Blake specifically for their documentary. He says because he wants to prove that Blake is unfit to survive and a drain on human resources or some shit like that. And I'm like, oh my god. What the f? So Blake is like, I beg to differ. I'm gonna be surviving a weekend in the woods at Loon Lake. And Carl informs him about the lunatic that's out there. Mind you, when Macy was giving her presentation about the lunatic, all she said was that he's bipolar and dangerous. Like, just bipolar and dangerous, nothing like he's a criminal or like criminally insane or anything like that. He's just bipolar and dangerous. Nothing more, nothing less. Bipolar and dangerous. Like, okay, queen. What does that mean? Like, he escaped from the local mental hospital that's over by Loon Lake, but that's it. Just bipolar and dangerous. Escaped from the mental hospital. So after school, back at home, they're all at Ginger's house, just walking in, and they're all talking, well, not they all. Dodie is talking about how excited she is for the trip and all the things that they're gonna do, and she rushes out quickly because she's like, oh snap, I gotta do this and this and this. I think like make sandwiches to prepare for the trip and everything. So now it's just Ginger and Macy, and Ginger's mom is in the living room on like her elliptical machine. So as Dodie leaves, she's like, oh my god, it's gonna be so much fun. And they're like, yeah, sure. And they're like, as soon as the door closes, they're like, I mean, at least we hope it's gonna be fun. And Lois is like, did I miss something? And they're just kind of like, you know, we feel like it's gonna be horrible because we love Dodie. We can't wait to go. It's just her mom is f***ing unbearable. Which, remember, like, one of the other times we said that Dodie's mom is unfit to be around people? Why would you subject yourself to a vacation with her? You don't even like being her neighbor. So Lois's advice to the girlies is basically just, you know, try and tune out Mrs. Bishop's like more unfavorable characteristics and just try to have a good time. Because Dodie is really, really excited about the trip, girl. So in the next scene, Hoodsy is trying to convince JOANNE to let Carl come on their family vacation because he said, you know, if you ask me to do this chore for a certain amount of time and you said that Carl can come with us on one of our trips. And she was like, I meant like a trip to the mall, not like a vacation, because you know Carl's a lot to handle, but Miss Bishop, you are also a lot to handle, so shut up. She reluctantly allows Carl to go, and she's like, we're gonna regret this. And so Lois sees them off, and when she goes back inside, she sees like a news report about Floyd, or Crazy Floyd, on the news, talking about all that he said was he was highly anxious and unstable. That's me! Like, why are we villainizing this man? Like, like, there's a little bit of Crazy Floyd in all of us. Nothing like he's harmful. Like, nothing like he has harmed people in the past and will harm you now. Like, he's just a little mentally ill. That's okay. Like, he is not inherently harmful. He's just a little anxious. Let me see what exactly they said about him. All they said was early 40s, extremely anxious and emotionally unstable. Girl, take away early 40s and that is all of us, okay? Don't do that to my boy Floyd. He just look a little crazy. He's like, his hair's a little messed up. His eyes are doing that weird thing. Why are we assuming homeboy is dangerous? I don't know. The stigmatization of mentally ill people. We could talk about more when we do Ed, Edd, and Eddy, but the stigmatization of neurodivergent people, the mentally ill. Hey, it's me in editing. So, very clearly in the clip I put there, it says inmate. So, we're gonna assume criminally insane? Like he has harmed someone before? That's Lacey. She's editing with me. But yeah, very clearly says inmate. So I'm often wrong. This is why we come in editing and correct ourselves. But I googled it, and he's not a prisoner. He's not, because look, I went to Crazy Floyd's Wikipedia, not his Wikipedia, but you know what I mean. That's so my teacher Wikipedia page and his profile on it. These are inmates. Right? These are inmates. And this is the wedding frame. This is the series finale. And that's Crazy Floyd. If he were an inmate, wouldn't he be over here? Wouldn't he be with these guys? He's just a little crazy. And that's okay. Ain't nothing wrong with that. My laptop screen is dirty, but ain't nothing wrong with that. Is that a hair? Ain't nothing wrong with that. Justice for Floyd, because y'all treated him badly. So on the trip, Carl is being a little as anticipated. He like mooned a car, and Ginger's on top of him to be on his best behavior because like they're guests on this trip. So the girls play a game called I See the Bridge, where basically they just like wait to see a bridge and then scream out I see the bridge. If it's fun to y'all. And the guys, the boys, are in the back talking about how they're going to capture the Lunatic on film, breaking into Blake's tent. Why can't I speak? This is why I don't take breaks, because I'd be real out of practice. But Mrs. Bishop is just bitching. She's just like, oh, our gas mileage is thrown off. I didn't plan for this. I didn't plan for that. I'm like, you're traveling with you're traveling with 5 children. Why did you think you could make a schedule and stick to it exactly? You're traveling with 5 kids. What is going on here? You can't put a banana peel on the ground and slip on it and then be like, who put this banana peel here? Like, are you dumb? Like, so I guess on one of their rest stops, Carl brings JOANNE something to eat. And they get to the cabin. As soon as they get to the cabin, here goes Shorty again. Put your stuff in neat piles. I don't want to trip on anything. Don't leave any food out. We don't want to attract any wild animals. Remember, you're traveling with 5 children. Maybe take a breath. Maybe we need to look within ourselves and realize where we went wrong. Because if you didn't want to be stressed out, you shouldn't have traveled with 5 kids. So the girls leave to go collect maple syrup, like sap from the trees. They're at the lake. They say the lake is so beautiful. Blah 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 blah. They get back to the cabin, and here goes Mrs. Bishop again. But they're in there singing, and Mrs. Bishop is like, just about everything. Like, they're making sandwiches. Don't leave the knives out. Like, you girls singing are giving me a headache. Like, let them have fun. You shouldn't have did this. You could have stayed at home and Mr. Bishop could have taken them. Mr. Bishop is bomb. Remember the episode? It's the same episode we referenced before. When he was showing Dodie the yearbook, he's like, you gotta love yourself, and blah, blah, blah. He sounds great. It could have just been him. You could have stayed home. If you're not fit to be around people, don't be there with people. So Dodie's like, sorry, my mom gets a little cranky after long car rides. But it's gonna be a perfect BFF vacation, you know? Like, first of all, your mom breeds crank. She is crank. She is cranky always. Like, that's not... It don't need no long car ride for her to be cranky. Like, she's just gonna be that anyways. And Ginger and Macy are like, yeah, perfect BFF vacation, girl. Having the time of my life. Ginger's writing in her journal. She's like, I can't tell if she's being extra or if I'm overly sensitive. And I'm like, no, girl, she's being extra. Meanwhile, Carl and Hoodsie have jumped out of the cabin window and they're gonna film the rest of their documentary about the lunatic. They're hoping to capture the lunatic on camera and get him to like scare Blake and have that really good footage. They hear a noise in the woods while they're out there and it's nighttime and they shine a flashlight on it and it's a skunk. They climb up a tree to avoid like getting sprayed by the skunk. And back at the cabin, Mrs. Bishop is talking about how the clams that Carl gave her were poison and like her stomach is all effed up and I'm just like, girl, didn't he get those from a rest stop? Why are you eating clams from a rest stop? Do you come on, remember the banana peel thing we said earlier? Come on, girl. Mrs. Bishop is like kind of talking Carl and Ginger like stands up and she's like, I know Carl can be a lot, but you aren't really like the most pleasant. You're not Betty White either. Like, you are not the most pleasant shorty to be around. And as she's saying that, they discover that the boys aren't in the room and they snuck out, and Mrs. Bishop kind of has a couple legs to stand on and Ginger has none. So they go to the cabin next door and it's Mr. Floyd's cabin and he's just in there like crawling around, barking like a dog, and there's a bloodhound on the porch and Mrs. Bishop is like, hey, we saw your dog and we're trying to find my son and his little friend and can we use your dog to like sniff them out? And Floyd is like, what? He's so scary for no reason. And he's just kind of like doesn't say anything, and I guess they just take the dog. And Macy's like, because it's Mrs. Bishop and then the three girls are standing behind her, and Macy's looking at him like, I feel like I know you. So they have the dog and they're like trying to sniff out the boys, and how come Dodie goes, I knew Carl would ruin this trip. I'm like, you must be lost. So the boys have been up in this tree for like a minute now, and Hoodsie is done with it. He's like, I'm cold, I'm tired, I want to go home, but they still have the issue of this skunk. So Hoodsie is making his way down the tree and they're just kind of arguing back and forth. Like Carl's like, we gotta get the shot, and Hoodsie is like, I don't give a damn about this shot, I'm trying to go. So as he's climbing down the tree, they get skunked, bro. So meanwhile, JOANNE is getting sick from these clams that Carl gave her from like a literal gas station. And Dodie's like, don't you want to go home? Like, you're like sick. Like, we can have dad call a doctor. And she's like, no, I'm using my sickness and hatred to fuel me to find them or some I don't know. And, you know, in the back, Dodie and Ginger are just kind of like, I'm sorry, I can't control my brother just like you can't control your mom, and you know, I can't control who I'm related to. It sucks to suck, and they both suck. So up in the tree, they're talking about how, you know, they are effed when their mom sees that they're missing. And, you know, since they haven't gotten any footage of the lunatic, they're just gonna try and act out the parts themselves. So they're like trying to act all scared, like getting footage for their documentary. And as they're acting, Mrs. Bishop rolls up on them and she's like, I'm gonna f***ing kill y'all. So Floyd runs up on them and he's and Macy's like, it's Floyd, and she like tries to throw the bucket of sap on him, but she accidentally hits Mrs. Bishop, but she does end up chasing off Crazy Floyd. So trip canceled, like Mrs. Bishop is over it, and they're back in the van, and Macy apologizes about the sap, and she's like, you know, the sap is the least of our problems, I just want to get the home. And Ginger's doing her ending monologue about, you know, you think you know somebody and then you stay with them and it's like everything about them is magnified by 1,000 times. And while Mrs. Bishop is in the car like kind of Dodie is like making fun of her. She's in the back like, It's like she now recognizes that her mom is being intense and she's like not making excuses for her, which is cool. All right, so she talks about like, you know, Carl's bad parts were amplified too, and she just felt the need to defend him even though she knows that he was in the wrong, and she recognizes that maybe that's why Dodie feels the need to defend her mom, because at the end of the day, that's her family and that's her mom. And she just says, you know, family vacations are going to be with my family only from now on because y'all are bugging. What do we take from this episode? This was so creepy for no reason. They did not have to animate his eyes to do that thing. They didn't have to do but this is a good episode. I don't know that I have much to say more than like they should have, if they were gonna make Crazy Floyd that character, I feel like they need to hit a little bit harder with what made him like a danger, because all they said that he had anxiety and he was unstable. Like, has he harmed someone in the past? Like, is there a reason you should be on edge versus the fact that he's just unstable and escaped from the mental hospital? Because that doesn't mean like he's inherently harmful. And at one point in the episode they described him as bipolar. I'm like, that doesn't really necessarily mean harmful either. Like, why should we be scared of him? All he did was escape. Just, you know, keep him calm, call the correct people, and let's get him back. But there was no like, we should be scared of him because of X, Y, and Z. We should be scared of him because he's harmed someone in the past, or he was in this mental hospital to keep him from harming someone. Like, there was no speak of what made him dangerous. They just said that he was dangerous. And it's like, I don't know how I feel about that. JOANNE, you can't set yourself up to fail and then be upset that you're failing. You can't expect to have a calm, clean, like vacation with children that are between the ages of 9 or 10 and like 12, 13. It's gonna be loud. It's gonna be messy. It's a vacation, so they're in a new environment, so they're gonna be excited and loud. And if you can't handle that, maybe just don't. Mr. Bishop could have did this on his own. Like, if you know that you don't like mess, you don't like loud noises, why are you bringing a group of children together? Like, one child on their own, poppin'. Like, you can expect those things from them. Like, one 10-year-old, one 11-year-old, cool. But once kids start getting together, the volume goes up, the mess goes up, because they're excited because they have their little friends around. Like, you can't expect this from them. You're setting yourself up to fail and being upset that you're failing. And I can't be mad at Dodie for defending her mom, because it's like, that's her mama. I think the real problem was that when she was defending her mom, it wasn't coming from a place of, I'm defending my mom because she's my mom. It kind of came from a place of like I believe that my mom is correct, and that's why. Like, she didn't recognize that maybe her mom was doing too much. She was just like, well, my mom is right. Like, you know? So, I don't know what to say about this, about her. But Macy, badass. The way she, like, the way she chased off Crazy Floyd. Maybe, never calls anybody. They never, like, if he escaped from a mental hospital and they're looking for him, why wasn't there a scene of them calling somebody to collect him? Dodie, I'm not mad at you this episode. That is a first. Cherish it, because it's probably not gonna happen again. Ginger, I feel you. Your brother's a little shit, but that's your brother. And Macy was killing it this whole episode. Macy and Mr. Bishop, killing it this whole episode. Love y'all. I think that's all I have to say. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys for thank you for being so understanding when I took my little bit of a break. That really means a lot to me, because I said, like, I gotta take some time, and y'all were like, period, like, do what you gotta do, sis. And I appreciate that. You guys mean the world to me. You guys are so sweet. My birthday's coming up. Subscribe, I guess. I don't know, as like a present to me. Subscribe, leave a comment, because I love seeing what you guys have to say. It's like my favorite part of this. Like, it's my favorite part of this is talking to you guys. So leave a comment. I want to talk to you. And I will see you guys sometime later in the week. I'm not going to say Thursday because I never post Thursday videos, but I will see you guys sometime later in the week. It might be here. It might be on TikTok, but I'll see you later in the week. All right, bye.